All right, let's talk about CJ Stroud. It's starting to become a trend where I make videos on the losing quarterback against the Vikings and say what went wrong because the Vikings are doing this to teams. But still, what went wrong with the Houston Texans? A team that we expected to kind of, I think, they were favored to win this game. They go in and really kind of get the brakes blown off them. What happened? This play is what happened. I mean, this is the play. This is I could end the video after this play if I wanted to, but I don't because I like making a little bit longer videos than that. But what's going to happen is it's zone coverage, and you see the concept on the screen, how it's designed to work. Have a receiver push the safeties further deep. Usually that over the middle route is the one that gets open. But you see Stroud takes the snap. He has plenty of time, great pocket, plenty of time. Still waiting, and it's just nothing is getting open down the field, right? So because of this, what do you do if you're CJ Stroud? Well, I mean, if nothing's open down the field, you can try and make something happen. That's what Stroud does, and he's going to end up getting sacked. So I'm not saying Stroud had that kind of time all game. All I'm saying is that Stroud had that kind of guys not getting open all game. Really good coverage by Minnesota, and this is what the Vikings do. In today's NFL, it's a passing league. It all starts with coverage and having someone like Stephon Gilmore that can take on a guy by himself. You do have Byron Murphy, who's a bit hit or miss, Shaquille Griffin, who's a bit hit or miss, but then some really good safeties as well with Josh Metellus, Cameron Bynum, and Harrison Smith. There's just a lot of guys in the backfield that can cover, and it puts you in a really tough spot if you're Houston. That being said, play like this. I think there were moments where Houston will look back at this and say, you know what, we could have done ourselves some favors that we didn't do. Like this one where, okay, bit of a tough situation. It's a 3rd down and 11, but, not so far that you're just going to run the ball and play field position, right? You see the route on the screen, could get open, kind of, if it can get just past the 1st down marker. That's the way this route is supposed to be ran. Stroud takes the snap. He's going to look in that direction and fires in that direction, and just him and Dalton Schultz just aren't on the same page. I mean, Schultz was still trying to work upfield, trying to get the 1st down, where Stroud was expecting him to cut a little earlier, which would have been underneath the 1st down marker, but at least you're getting close to the 1st down marker where you could go for it on 4th or, kick a long field goal. Either one of those would have been totally fine options, but you have to be on the same page, so that's just an issue. This play as well, where it's a 3rd down and 8 here. You see the route on the screen. It's, again, cover 2 zone. Everyone talks about Flores and the exotic schemes that he will throw out there. He's actually thrown out a good amount of just kind of traditional zone coverage plays as well. He's not getting that crazy this season. He gets crazy at times, for sure, but he's also going to do this a decent amount. So Stroud takes the snap, and he's going to look in the direction of the receiver he wants to throw to, Nico Collins, and again, is able to navigate the pocket well. But you see right now, Collins has ran into a position where there's 2 Minnesota players. I think Stroud wanted Collins to stop a little bit earlier on this route because the throw goes behind Collins. Collins can't make the play, but defensive back for Minnesota can. That's Cameron Bynum who makes the play. So, again, this is just good defense by Minnesota for sure, but it's also Houston maybe not being ready for a game like this, not being fully on the same page. And, they do have a lot of new players, right? Although Collins and, the players I've shown on these plays were both there last year as well. But these are just the things you have to work on. Minnesota's a good defense. You can't beat them if you're also beating yourself. Now, I do have to say, I thought the Texans did an all right job of moving the ball in this game, and not on a complete down-out basis, but they had some good plays. I mean, they had more yards per play than the Vikings did, weirdly enough, in this game, only by 0.1, but still. They had plays where they were able to move the ball. Something like this, you see, just a route trying to get kind of over the zone coverage towards the offense's right. When this play begins, you see that Stroud is going to look in, and it's open. Really, that I think that Minnesota player should be getting over there a little bit quicker than he is. Because of this, Stroud hits Diggs, who was able, that was the receiver, who was able to pick up a 1st down. Absolutely, they had plays where they were able to move the ball down the field. It really just felt like Minnesota was able to win the key ones. And also, one more thing I got to talk about. There's just too many penalties on this Houston offensive line, really. They need to stop. There was these false starts. These penalties that aren't helping your team. It's not even okay, too many holds because you're getting beat. It's stuff like this. This is a 3rd down and 10 situation, and the Vikings are showing an all-out blitz. So, okay, big spot. I mean, you have an opportunity to gain some real yards if you can get a conversion here. as you see, Stroud is going to take the snap, and he fires it. They hit Tank Dell, pick up the first down on a 3rd and 10. Great play there, get a chunk play, but you saw the flag. It was actually a false start is what this was ruled. I mean, that just, it can't happen. I mean, that's something you gotta work on, because you're getting yourself in a bad position. And again, like I said, it's hard enough to beat a team like the Vikings. You can't beat the Vikings and yourselves, and that's what they tried to do, and only succeeded in one of those aspects on Sunday. You can certainly give the Vikings a ton of credit, and we should give the Vikings a ton of credit, but also, if we're just looking at the Texans, they did not play their best football. So yeah, I mean, listen, I could probably go on, but honestly, I think that's mostly it, was that they made too many penalties offensively. There was too many plays where they weren't on the same page, which those are fixable issues, right? They just are. The other aspect is that Minnesota is, I think, a really good defense. Like, I think they cover really well, and when you cover well, it allows you to blitz as much as you want or as little as you want. You can kind of play situation by situation, which is really difficult as a quarterback. You don't know exactly what coverage is happening, but again, I think sometimes we talk too much about coaching and not enough about the players on the field. And the players on the field for Minnesota are just playing really good right now. I mean, there's plays where you have, like I showed, you have 4 or 5 seconds of time to throw, and there's just no one getting open down the field. And when that happens, I mean, again, no quarterback is going to look good when your receivers aren't getting open. And to be clear, this isn't like some bad receiving core that you're doing this to. This is the Houston Texans, a team that, at least on paper, and I think in practice for the most part, have a really good receiving core. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs. I mean, these are dominant level receivers, and you're still able to, I think just hanging with those guys would be a big win. The fact that they're kind of thriving is, in my opinion, just really impressive, and I think definitely something that, got to give a lot of credit to Minnesota. I wouldn't be too worried if I'm Houston. Sure, it's maybe been a bit of a rocky loss here, but I think they'll be all right. But yeah, before I go, I will mention I do have a movie channel. If you like watching movies, check that out. The link is in the description below. It's called Jackson Kruger Movies. But yeah, those are my thoughts on CJ Stroud. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.